What's going on, everyone? For those new to the channel, my name is Alexander Levine. I'm a personal trainer with Ankylosing Spondylitis. I work with others around the globe with ankylosing spondylitis, other forms of inflammatory arthritis. My job has been to find individualized approaches for those specifically struggling with AS, struggling with arthritis, to get moving safely and to progress strength, progress flexibility, to really help some of the symptoms we have daily and over time to really try to prevent a loss of flexibility. So I've seen hundreds of clients with AS over the years, maybe thousands at this point. And, I've seen so many different stories and hardship, struggle daily with flexibility, extreme tightness. But also one thing I see a lot, and my own journey with AS, I've had AS since my early 20s. We're talking 13, 14 years with symptoms. So it's been a long time now. And, one of the hardest things I see is the drastic difference in symptoms that can come on. So maybe you're feeling good one day, you went on a hike, you're playing sports, you're exercising, then the next day, just debilitating pain. Maybe not from that, but just debilitating pain from one day to the next. Symptoms can really change on a dime just like that, and it can put us into a spiral, especially when maybe you're feeling good for a little bit and then something comes up like hip pain, sciatica, you're limping, you're laying around, and that's where AS is really struggling because symptoms can be so just drastically different. Other than, the nagging symptoms of tightness, and some people do have pain daily, but for a lot of us, we go through periods of much more pain, really debilitating stuff. And I've tried to take this into account over the years, and I've tried to find a consistent approach with movement, especially when I'm really struggling with something, struggling with a flare or sciatica. I've tried to find a consistent approach because when we stop moving during that flare, and rest is important, but when we stop moving altogether during a flare, it can be really challenging on the rest of the body. So what happens is when I have sciatica and I stop moving, maybe I recover from sciatica in a couple days, the hip pain, I finally get out of it, but then the rest of the body's incredibly tight. So then it becomes a domino effect of tightness, pain, and these flares can really put us out for weeks, months. So my goal over the years has been, let's find a consistent approach so we can deal with those hard times, we can get through them, and then when we get to the other side, we're able to keep going with our routine. And what's really challenging is if we stop during those flares altogether, we're in a really bad spot because then the rest of the body is tight. They say the mid, upper back become really tight. We're hunched over, so the whole body, we have a problem all over. So my advice to folks over the years has been, we need to find an approach that we can do on most days of the week. There's going to be time for rest, but on most days of the week, what are some things we can do? Gentle stretching, shorter routines. So that's where I sometimes look at high intensity exercise and things like that can be great, but if you're just getting into working out or a routine, find something you can do a lot. Find something you can do most days. Like I said, most days of the week, you can do it over and over so the body gets used to it and you have that good foundation. And that's what changed for me. That's what really changed for me regarding my workouts, stretching, flexibility. I start to just do little by little throughout the day, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, and I would do things to a comfortable range of motion where I wouldn't push it, I wouldn't overstretch, but I'd find that sweet spot where it just felt good and I could progress it. And especially with strength training, I found techniques that I could use over and over. So I do like to lift heavy weights, but I know consistently with AS, I have to do everything. I want to use light weights, resistance bands, machines, and I want to change the approach a lot so I can stay loose and I'm not putting too much strain on the body. So my overall theme here is we just need consistent movement in any way possible, in any form possible. It's really the best form for you and the best form for you that you can progress. So there's a million ways to do this, but my advice is find that consistent approach that you can turn to. And that can be anything, especially when we're dealing with the flare and you want to think about the mental health stuff. For me, when I'm dealing with sciatica and something so debilitating, I try to do simple things like use the sauna, gentle stretching. I try to just keep my mind in the game of this will be over, I'll get through this. And when I get through this, I want to be back into feeling good and keep going with it. So I always just try to keep that healthy mindset, even though it can be incredibly hard at times. But consistency is what has got me to the point I'm at today, just consistently doing things as much as I can safely in a way that makes sense. So if you're dealing with a flare, we'll get through it to the other side. We'll keep going. Think about that consistent approach. See you next time.